Hi, I'm Lucie. I work as Industrial Biotech Senior Manager at EuropaBio, and I'm here today with my colleague Claire.
Hi, I'm Claire Skentelbery. I'm the Director General at EuropaBio.
We're here today for the International Day of Women and Girls in Science, and Claire and I wanted to talk a little bit about our journeys in science and share what we have in common and what things are different. So my journey in science started. I studied biology for my undergrad, and then I specialized in plant breeding and genetics, and then I ended up in Brussels. How about you, Claire?
I started with a degree in agriculture, which was super interesting because it combined science with politics, societal structure, economic development as well. And then I went on to study a PhD in plant biochemistry, which was industrially related and what got me really interested in how science works on its way through to market products and use in society.
I I really value my scientific background because when I came to Brussels, I felt a bit like an alien. Here I was, a biology graduate in a sea of international relations and EU affairs and law graduates, but I realized that that was actually such a strength and such an advantage to see the world through a slightly different lens and to bring a scientific perspective into the Brussels bubble of policymaking. And I really believe that we need more scientists in policymaking and not fewer.
That's a really good point because Brussels is really policy focused. And I look at it from when I finished my PhD, I didn't stay at the bench to carry on being a sort of professional scientist, but I really enjoyed working in the industries and the sectors that enabled science to be delivered. So I got involved very quickly in scientific communications, which was great because you have to be able to explain what science does and how it does it. And that led to regional and cluster development for biotechnology at a time when that was really exploding all over Europe, particularly for small innovative companies. So that really led me on a career path of how do you make the right framework in which science can make a difference. And there are so many different layers to that. You know, science at the bench is one small part of actually driving innovation. The rest of it is how you make that innovation work. And so I've really enjoyed working in communications, policy, regional development, regulatory development. All of these things are somewhere where a science qualification and interest will get you a very long way.
That's such a good point, Claire. We see that this world that we operate in the Brussels bubble and policymaking is so intricate, the same way that science is so incredibly detailed. And every scientist, every person has their small piece of the puzzle and their small piece to add to the global perspective. One of the things I really loved when I started at EuropaBio is each of our offices is named after a scientist, a prominent scientist in biotech. And I love that we have these wonderful examples also of female scientists in our office, including Rosalind Franklin, Martha Chase, and Emmanuelle Charpentier and Jennifer Doudna, who, as you know, were pioneers in genome editing. And so I think bringing all of those perspectives together makes the tapestry really rich, whether that's bringing science into policymaking. We need all of those voices, including from female scientists.
And that's a great point as well. And it makes you realize how far it has come for women in terms of representation in science, because many of the women you referenced had so much more against them than just their ability to be scientists. It was actively structured to be difficult to be a professional scientist as a woman in many of those and those eras mentioned.
Indeed, because actually Rosalind Franklin, her contributions towards the structure of DNA weren't even recognized until after her death, whereas Charpentier and Doudna actually won a Nobel Prize for the discovery of CRISPR. So I think we see that there has been progress and women have come a long way.
Absolutely. And the next step is to make sure that women are represented at really senior levels in a much more equal way. You see a huge number of women graduates from scientific subjects, but that's still not filtering through to board level or senior executive level yet. So we really need to work on that. And it has to be a proactive effort. Often these things will not happen just by accident or through sort of passive momentum. So that's something that we really need to be aware of. And that's a message to both men and women out there. It's look at the diversity in gender that you have within your organization and make sure that you are creating an equal platform for everybody.